Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're surviving this global pandemic. For some reason, I'm eating as if it's a global famine, and my jeans are starting to get tight. Uh, anyway, today we're going to continue our talks on cliché, and we're going to talk more about how we can take clichés and modify them to make them original thoughts and original lyrics. So we're going to practice the art of creating what's called friendly clichés, which is basically turning a cliché on its head, mixing it up so that it's an original idea instead of just reiterating or retreading the ground that someone else has walked on. So clichés have become so foundational in our language that it's hard to even recognize them. A lot of them are just, parts of speech, or not parts of speech, but phrases and sentences even that just are so common in our language that we don't realize that at some point someone had to create those. So like I said, today we're going to take common cliches and turn them on their heads and make them new. Okay, so there are some steps that we can use to modify cliches and turn them into friendly cliches. And I'm going to bring a little chart here. And the other day I realized that my charts weren't going to be backwards. They just look backwards to me when I'm filming this, but they're not backwards in the end. So I don't need to switch the camera anymore, but okay, so steps to creating original lyrics from known metaphors or cliches. So number one, we're going to determine the meaning of the cliche. So we're going to really dissect each cliche and determine what it means exactly. Sometimes cliches have been around for so long that their meaning is kind of changed a little bit or kind of modified or evolved. So we're really going to take those cliches, break them down, and determine their meaning. Number two, reverse it. We are literally going to take the last part of the cliche and bring it to the beginning and see how it changes the meaning and see if it opens up new possibilities for meaning. Then three, we're going to take that reversed cliche and we're going to add rhyme and meter to it. So this is the part where the cliche starts to get more artistic. This is where the art part comes in. The art part. Hashtag art part. So this is really where the magic happens in step three. And then the magic continues to happen in step four because we're going to create an accompanying line that matches the rhyme and meter of the first line. And that's a way for you to build verses, build song verses in your songs. Okay, so the first cliche that we're going to work with is this one. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Okay, what does this expression mean? So to me, this expression means that sometimes you have to wait in life to see how events transpire. Time is the only method of being able to see what will happen. And that is absolutely true. There's another expression, time heals all. That's another cliche. But really the meaning, the deeper meaning of this is that you sometimes just have to wait and see what happens instead of trying to force, or instead of trying to define what may be a nebulous situation in your life or a nebulous circumstance. Instead of trying to define that and glean immediate meaning from that, you might have to wait a while because sometimes it takes a while to understand the meaning and to understand the full breadth of something you're going through. Okay, so while I was developing this lesson, I kind of wanted to do some research on the etymology of some of these cliches, and I found that only time will tell. The expression dates back to the 1500s. So in the last class we were talking about how sometimes these cliches are hundreds, if not thousands of years old. Isn't that amazing? Only time will tell has been around for 500 years. There's no written documentation of this phrase being used, but the expression they believe originated around that time. Now, there's an even further explanation of when this expression started to come about, and that was in 65 AD. So this is thousands of years old, this expression. And it's attributed to Lucius Annaeus Seneca, whoever that is. And I hopefully pronounced that correctly. He was a Roman statesman and philosopher. And so he died in 65 AD. So he is quoted as having said, "Time discovers truth." So that's really, I would say, only time will tell is for sure a derivative of time discovers truth. Time discovers truth. It's very, very, very close to only time will tell, isn't it? It's amazing. Okay, so we're going to take our steps and apply them to these cliches. First of all, we're going to reverse the order. So only time will tell. So I reversed the order and I came up with the only tell is time itself. The only tell is time itself. Now, what is a tell? If you're not into poker, you may not know what a tell is, but a tell is something that a poker player does during the game that lets the other poker players know that they might be bluffing, or it lets them know that maybe they're doing something that's not exactly in the realm of what they normally do during their normal play. So it gives the other players a cue that something might be going differently in the game. The only tell is time itself, is a reversal of only time will tell. So I kind of dug down into that poker playing analogy and went a little bit further. And so I came up with, my tells are only shown in time. So what does that mean? That means that maybe the things that betray the inner workings of my brain, my tells, so to speak, you can only determine them over the course of the time. If you know me, you know this is not true. I have tells all over the place that tell you what I'm thinking. But for this purpose of song lyrics, or creating song lyrics rather, I thought that was kind of cool. My tells are only shown in time. Okay, so let's take that line and let's sprinkle a little art on it. Let's sprinkle a little magic on it and see if we can come up with a line that uses rhyme or meter. Rhyme and meter, rather. So, I'm gonna tell you in my time. I'm gonna tell you in my time. I think I wrote this incorrectly on here. I'm gonna tell you in my time. So that has some meter thrown in there, right? And then you add another line, and this is where the rhyme comes in. I'm gonna show, and if you seek, so shall you find. Okay, so it's kind of like a biblical reference shown in there, or thrown in there as well, which is in and of itself another cliche. So I guess I shouldn't put that in there, but I thought it was kind of cool. So let's put these two lines together. I'm gonna tell you in my time. I'm gonna show, and if you seek, so shall you find. I'm gonna show, and if you seek, so shall you find. Once again, I'm gonna tell you in my time. I'm gonna show, and if you seek, so shall you find. Okay, so we had two song lyrics, two lines of lyrics written there, changing up the expression only time will tell. Okay, so thinking about those song lyrics, how would you further develop this verse? Maybe you could write a song about keeping your cards close to your chest, using another like card playing poker metaphor, and you could write a song about how it's hard for you to tell people what you feel, and they can only determine what you actually feel by your tells or something. You know, etc., etc. You figure it out. Okay, let's do another one. So the next one we're going to do is kill them with kindness. I know you've heard this expression before. So, first step. Let's go back to our steps here. Determine meaning. Determine meaning of kindness. Kill them with kindness. What does kill them with kindness mean? Okay, so I think that this expression describes a technique for throwing someone off guard by treating them with a great degree of patience and kindness when they're trying to aggravate you. Okay, so like every day of being a mom, my 2 kids do this all the time. So kill them with kindness, an expression describing a technique for throwing someone off guard by treating them with a great degree of patience and kindness when they're trying to aggravate you. So when a person is angry at another person, they sometimes try to goad or bait the other person into an argument. So you see this in real life, you see this on social media all the time. It's kind of disgusting on social media and annoying. So one way to deflect this is this occurrence is an act of non-engagement, or even an act of the opposite of non-engagement, which is an engagement of kindness or an engagement of positivity. So by not participating in the aggression, one can effectively shut down the aggression. So kill them with kindness. All right? So this cliche is interesting because it's a Shakespearean cliche. This was written by Shakespeare, although he was the first person to kind of put this cliche together. So that was in, oh gosh, I don't have a year for that, but hundreds of years old. So this is the line that's taken from Taming of the Shrew. And with the clamor, keep her still awake. This is one way to kill a wife with kindness. So in the Taming of the Shrew, our lead character, Petruchio, is trying to turn his wife into an obedient one by killing her with kindness, so to speak. So that's where that comes from. So again, these cliches are really, 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 really old. So it's time we make some new ones. So we've determined the meaning of kill them with kindness. What's the next step? Reverse it. Okay. So when I reversed kill them with kindness, I came up with kindness will kill. Kindness will kill. Okay, think about that for a minute. What is kindness will kill? Same thing we mean with kill them with kindness, in my eyes. Okay? So using kindness as a distraction can free up an opportunity to disengage, or if done with enough smugness, can serve to agitate the other participant, which is also a component of kill them with kindness, I think, too. So have you ever had an interaction with another human where they're really making you mad, but all you give them back is sweetness and smiles and politeness as a way of kind of like, you know, giving them a metaphorical finger, okay? Okay, so kindness will kill. Now, let's take it a step further and let's, oh, actually, okay, so yeah, I did take it a step further. And I came up with, the sweetest murder was committed with a lot of sugar. The sweetest murder was committed with a lot of sugar. And then I got to thinking how I could translate that deeper into a song lyric. And I came up with, I sweetly stabbed with a saccharine sugar dagger. I sweetly stabbed with a saccharine sugar dagger. So, can you sweetly stab someone? No, not really. It's kind of like killing them with kindness, isn't it? So, I sweetly stabbed with a saccharine sugar dagger. Now let's add another line that emulates the rhyme and meter of that first line. I sweetly stabbed with a saccharine sugar dagger. My sticky sweet expression made him all the madder. My sticky sweet expression made him all the madder. Made him all the madder. I sweetly stabbed with a saccharine sugar dagger. My sticky sweet expression made him all the madder. My sticky sweet expression made him all the madder. There we go. It's hard to, sometimes if we get our inflections of our words off, it can affect the meter in a weird way. Okay? So, kill them with kindness. I sweetly stabbed with a saccharine sugar dagger. My sticky sweet expression made him all the madder. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so this one is at the speed of light. Okay, that's a scientific concept, isn't it? Now, with a scientific concept, we may not think of it as being a cliche, a language cliche, but there was at some point someone had to put together the expression of something being very fast being compared to the speed of light. Okay, so the actual speed of light was discovered in the 1600s by a Danish astronomer named Ole Romer. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It could be Ole Romer, or Ole Romer, one of the two. So again, this cliche is hundreds of years old, at the speed of light, right? So while the expression traveling at the speed of light has no known author, it's probably been around for 300 or 400 years because that was when the speed of light was discovered. So what is at the speed of light? What does that mean? It's an expression that is meant to illustrate something going very fast. So right now we're determining the meaning of this cliche, our step number 1, okay? Determine the meaning. So this is an expression meant to illustrate something going fast. Nothing is faster than the speed of light that we know of. So the author of this cliche cleverly describes the phenomenon of traveling light and compares it to a life event or process. Okay, so when do we use this expression in daily speech? We use it when we want to indicate that something went really fast. Okay, I'm sure you can think of a lot of funny things that could go fast that you could use this expression with. Okay, so what are we going to do? What's our next step? Reverse the order. Light is speed. Okay, that's what I came up with. Light is speed, because light is speed, right? If light is the fastest thing there could ever be, then light is speed. Light traveling is the essence of what we consider to be the fastest speed there is. So light is speed. How can we take this expression further into an original metaphor? So I came up with, speeding towards you, light can't catch me. Okay, so this is a line that's meant to convey a sense of urgency. I'm speeding towards you, light can't catch me. I'm going so fast towards you that light can't catch me. Have you ever wanted to be around someone so quickly that you felt like you wish you could go the speed of light? Okay, so let's dig down one step further and try to put a little meter to it. As I'm speeding towards you, the light is jealous. As I'm speeding towards you, the light is jealous. As I'm speeding towards you, the light is jealous. Okay, now let's write an accompanying line that has the same meter and rhyme. Racing hearts are often overzealous. Okay, as I'm speeding towards you, the light is jealous. Racing hearts are often overzealous. All right. As I'm speeding towards you, the light is jealous. Racing hearts are often overzealous. That's how it would go if you're writing it in a line. Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 cliches, and I want to give you a few minutes to kind of work on these. and see what you come up with. All right? So the first one is this one. Ugly as sin. Okay? I'm going to go put my bread in the oven. I'll be right back. And when I come back, I want you to give me some ideas. Ugly as sin. Okay, hi there. Okay, ugly as sin. First, let's determine the meaning. What does this mean? Ugly as sin. That means that, okay, so this is from a religious perspective, obviously. Sin, a religious concept. Ugly as sin. If sin is the worst thing that a human can do, comparing a person's beauty or lack thereof to sin would be a pretty bad burn. Would be a pretty deep insult. Ugly as sin. Okay, so that's what that means. And this is a what? Is this a simile? Yep, this is a simile. Okay, so what's our next step? Reverse it. Okay, sin is ugly. Sin is ugly. The feeling of ugliness was worse than sin. You know, whatever. You determine. How do we reverse that? Okay, then add rhyme and meter. And then add an accompanying line. That's how you do that. All right, let's do another one. Every cloud has a silver lining. Let's determine the meaning, and then I'm going to let you work on this and come up with one of your own. Every cloud has a silver lining. That means that when something bad happens to you, there's usually a little sprinkle of good in there as well. So it's your job to determine how to take something bad that's happened to you and turn it into something good. All right, I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on this. I wanted to work on this one with you. Every cloud has a silver lining. Okay. So what I came up with is it's time to cash in all the silver from my clouds. So to me that means like maybe I've been going through a bad spell of just like bad news upon bad news and upon bad news. So I'm kind of trying to like say to the universe, hey, all this silver in these clouds, why I need to cash that in right now, okay? Every cloud has a silver lining. It's time to cash in the silver from all my clouds. Okay, so let's create a line that has the same rhyme and meter. It's time to cash in all the silver from my clouds. What rhymes with clouds? Loud would be an option. Proud. Shroud. Maybe we could make some kind of weird antiquated reference or something. Anyway, loud, proud, shroud. I feel like proud and loud could both be used in this. Let's read our line again. It's time to cash in this all the silver lining from my clouds. It's time for something to live out loud. But living out loud, that's another cliche, so let's try to avoid that. But it's time for it's time to cash in the silver lining from my clouds. I'm here to collect I'm trying to think of maybe something that goes with proud too. I'm here to collect, and I'm not so proud or something, or I'm leaving my pride at the door. I want that silver. I'm here to collect what's due to me. What's due to me. It's time to cash in all the silver from my clouds. I'm here to collect what's due to me. I'm not too proud. Anyway, this isn't the greatest of song lyrics of all. It's kind of weird doing this by myself. Okay, so it's time to cash in all the silver lining from my clouds. I'm here to collect what's due to me. I'm not too proud. Not the greatest song lyrics I've ever written, but you get the idea. Turning a cliche on its head, creating a friendly cliche. This is a way to enrich your writing, to add some elegance to your writing, and to give a little wink to your listener. Because once they start dissecting those lyrics, and hopefully they'll be just dissecting the lyrics, they can see, oh, you know what, this person is kind of making a play on the old cliche, blah, 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 etc. All right, you guys, well, have a great weekend. Although I've determined that the weekend now starts on Wednesday, so hopefully you've been acting accordingly. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, and my phone number is also in those emails, so you can text me or call me at any time. All right, bye you guys. Mwah.